Hi, I'm Bob Herrera, Superintendent of Farmington Public Schools. We know how difficult this time has been for all of our families and staff, and we hear you. I want to reassure you that we have multiple teams working hard to prepare for the best possible 2021 school year. Our FPS Return to School plan is guided by the following principles. We will be transparent. We will share what we know and what we don't know. We will be equitable. We will center our decisions on what's best for all of our students, families, and staff, especially those most critically impacted by educational inequities and COVID-19. We will listen. We will continue to seek input from all of our stakeholders. Your voice helps to guide our work. We will put safety first. We will leverage science, data, and public health leadership to inform the choices we make while prioritizing the health, safety, and well-being of our students, families, and staff. We will provide a consistent, student-centered approach to instruction that focuses on rigorous learning. We will remain flexible and adaptable in our planning as we move through the 6 phases of the Michigan Safe Start program. And we will be decisive. Given the uncharted challenge that is before us, we will make tough choices focused on what is best for our students and staff. I hope this video will provide answers to the questions that you are seeking. I requested that our team of leaders provide you with updates in each essential area of the district's Return to School plan. Please know that we are committed to communicating with you weekly so you know where we are and what we are working on. Your questions mailed into info@fpsk12.net help us to know what is on your mind and what information we need to get to you. Please continue to email your questions there so we can also add them to our FAQ on the district website. I want to thank you for your continued support as we prepare for the upcoming school year.
Hi, I'm Dr. Kelly Coffin, and I'm the Assistant Superintendent for Innovation and Strategic Initiatives here at Farmington Public Schools. I wanted to share with you some information related to our planning for returning to school for the 2021 school year. The district continues to work through a thoughtful approach of planning and preparing for the upcoming school year, with the safety of students and staff our top priority. The governor released the Michigan My Safe Start Return to School Roadmap on June 30th, and this has served as the guidance document for our planning. The governor's plan includes several requirements that districts must implement in their preparedness plan that is to be submitted in mid-August. One safety requirement that will be in place for all students is the wearing of facial coverings on the bus and throughout the school day. Staff are required to wear facial coverings at all times. Farmington has committed to providing disposable facial coverings daily for all students and staff. School districts are required to develop instructional plans for each of the phases of reopening. Farmington has been working on 3 different instructional approaches in order to best prepare for what the fall may bring, as well as allowing planned flexibility in the event the phase we are in changes. If our region is in phase 1, 2, or 3 of the state's reopening plan, 100% distance learning will be the instructional approach. We all know that school districts across the country were asked to completely move from traditional face-to-face instruction to fully remote learning with very little time to plan. Learning at a distance, if needed this coming year, is being informed by what we know about in-person instruction and remote learning best practice. As a result, we have made decisions that will provide a much more robust learning experience with increased instructional time, live virtual meeting expectations, and assessments. Farmington will be using a learning management system, which we did not have during the emergency closure. The learning management system serves as a digital learning environment and creates continuity of instruction and learning, whether we are in the classroom with face-to-face instruction, a hybrid structure, or finding ourselves back to learning at a distance. The learning management system will provide parents, students, and teachers access to instructional content on a regular basis and allows parents and students the ease of monitoring tasks, completing assignments, and managing upcoming work. Also, parents will be able to see information for all of their students in one location. In the event that we are still in Phase 4 of the state reopening and feel it is safe to return to limited face-to-face instruction, we will be looking to offer a hybrid structure where students come to school for face-to-face instruction 2 days per week and will have learning at a distance provided by their teacher on the remaining 3 days. The face-to-face time allows teachers to provide instruction on new information, while the distance learning time allows students to continue making meaning from that content. We understand the importance of the social and emotional well-being of all students, and with safety precautions in place, see a benefit in the face-to-face connection between staff and their students. Finally, if the region is in Phase 5 of reopening, the district would welcome students back for full face-to-face instruction 5 days a week with safety protocols in place. In the event families wish to be in a virtual program for an extended time, a semester, or the entire year, regardless of what instructional approach Farmington Public Schools enacts, we are offering a K-12 virtual path. Additional information is coming soon to provide greater detail as to what will be included in each instructional approach and on the virtual path itself to support families in their decision-making. We recognize that this is a time of uncertainty where we all have more questions than answers. We appreciate your patience and support as we work to create plans that reflect our priority on the health and safety of our students and staff. Thank you for your continued support.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jacqueline McDougall, the Executive Director of Special Education. I'm here to provide an update about the Special Education Department and social emotional support that is available for students, staff, and the community. The Special Education Department is following the same instructional plan as general education. We're developing models to provide instruction either in person, remote, or hybrid. These plans will take into consideration the individual needs of our students. We recognize that some students require more hands-on attention than others and do not perform well during remote learning. This usually includes students in our self-contained ASD, 1832 3 and 4, SXI, MOCI, and post-secondary programs. For these students, we'll explore bringing them to school for the maximum amount of days possible, based on the governor's 6 phases of Michigan's Safe Start program. All IEPs will be followed as written, with direct instruction unless the IEP team determines that the IEP needs to be adjusted based on the changing needs of the student and the ability to provide the support virtually. Staff will work with all students to the extent possible to make progress on their goals and objectives and provide appropriate accommodations that will be used to ensure participation in the general education setting. All support staff will provide services according to the requirements of the IEP and will provide any devices needed to support the goals and objectives of their students. More detailed information will be provided in the future about the ancillary staff service delivery model. Our students who receive services from the resource and emotionally impaired programs will follow the format of Farmington's general education population and can sign up for virtual instructions via the virtual learning path. All other parents, regardless of your child's program, who don't feel comfortable sending your child to school can request remote learning and will provide appropriate online instruction that meets your child's needs. We are continuing to adjust our plans as needed and will update you as changes become available. As a district, we're concerned about the mental well-being of our students, so social emotional learning will become part of the classroom curriculum for pre-K through post-secondary. Teachers will check in with students daily to determine their mental health needs. Social emotional staff will provide materials and support to teachers on a routine basis and will check in with students who have been identified as needing extra attention. We are also concerned about the mental well-being of our families and staff So a resource list has been created along with the flow chart for mental health supports that are available. We also have a social emotional community support page on Facebook. The social emotional priorities identified for the Farmington community are trauma-informed instruction, restorative practices, and diversity, equity, and inclusion. We understand many of you are anxious about the return to school, but we will take every precaution necessary to ensure the safety of our students and staff. We are available to address any questions or concerns. Thank you so much for working with us.
School operations has been working to address processes, supports, and reorganization that is necessary for the back-to-school roadmap plan. We organized into 4 key work groups: student attendance, transportation, staff, and school logistics, processes, and procedures. A few of the overarching questions we work to address include what policies or procedures need adaptations or refinements in order to support the instructional plan. We wanted to address state, federal, or district parameters and what changes might impact these parameters. What processes, procedures, structures, or methods need to be considered. How will processes or procedures be adapted for the different instructional plans, in-person, hybrid, or remote learning and safety? What support will school leaders and staff need? How will we gather feedback during the next school year in order to monitor and adjust in a timely manner? We also focused on key priority areas. We thoroughly examined and considered the questions that I just mentioned and have recommendations as a result. For student attendance, we want to ensure we are following all MDE requirements for recording student attendance specific to the Michigan safety phases and the instructional models. If students attend virtually and are physically in school less than 50% of their day, then weekly interactions and communications between the teacher and student regarding course progress and/or course content is required. It must be detailed and recorded in our electronic attendance system. This will look a little differently for elementary and secondary, and of course, if the requirements change, then we will also attend to those changes. For school processes and procedures, we really want to reduce contact and the risk of exposure during transition times, such as drop-off and pickup times, or even lunch and recess. We will be doing several things: maximizing entrances available that support safety protocol. We certainly want to stagger numbers of students during transitions, and of course reduce numbers of students where possible. We will be addressing student movement and directional flow, increasing physical space options to better space students, and considering physical barriers in specific spaces whenever possible. For parents, guardians, and families, we definitely want to ensure you have opportunities for engagement with school, like curriculum nights, open house, meet and greets, certainly parent-teacher conferences, and we are examining alternatives so that we can engage our families. We want to be responsive to staff needs, both related to the instructional models, as well as for personal health and wellness. We are exploring ways to support our staff. We know that addressing safety and sanitization practices, reducing the risk of exposure, and reducing contact to the extent possible will be very important. We will adhere to state and federal regulations and guidelines. We want to remind our staff about our free employee assistance program resource that all staff members can utilize. We will definitely work with staff individually to address their specific needs. We are also planning to be able to adjust structures or processes in real time to ensure we address evolving needs and challenges, as well as to maximize effectiveness within identified priorities. This will require feedback and monitoring with changes being made in real time. We know this flexibility will be essential. These are the key overarching areas we've been attending to. As the instructional plan, wellness, and school facilities plans evolve, then we will continue to adjust and refine the school processes.
Hello, my name is Felicia Venable. I'm the new Director of Facilities Management for our school district. I want to share an update with you on our efforts to prepare for returning to school in the fall. So far, we have installed protective barriers to encourage social distancing in the main office and guidance counseling suites. We've also installed hand sanitizing stations throughout the schools. We've ordered disposable masks for every student and staff member, face shields for those who elect to use them, along with a face mask, and temperature-taking kiosks for screening upon building entry. When it comes to cleaning and disinfecting, our new custodial service provider, Grand Rapids Building Services, or GRBS, is hard at work conducting summer deep cleaning and disinfecting of surfaces. Finally, our HVAC team is conducting an audit of building ventilation systems in order to ensure each is properly working. In the coming days, signage to encourage hand washing and social distancing will be ordered, and working with GRBS, student desks will be socially distanced. Our goal is to make certain you feel safe when you return to work and school in the fall.
For transportation, we wanted to ensure students have access to transportation like they have previously. We will follow our local health department and Governor Whitmer's roadmap guidelines for cleaning on all of our buses. Cleaning and disinfecting will occur prior to and following each bus route. All students and staff will wear masks on the buses unless they cannot medically be tolerated. Routes will run as normal. We need to focus on prioritizing transportation routes in order to ensure students are able to attend their core instructional program. Field trips and routes to the teen centers will be temporarily eliminated. Other routes are currently being examined, and more information will be shared when it becomes available.